Espargaro will lead laps. The red lights come on, they go out. And that's a great start from Pol Espargaro. Look inside, he's going to run wide, that's for sure. Very, very wide. Gets on the gas on the red stuff. He knew how to do it. He wasn't going to be thwarted.
It's a bit of a grey area, that.
Yeah, a bit of one.
They're not penalising anyone for it.
But careful, this is like a Moto3 race at these hairpins, isn't it? So, Pol Espargaro leads off again. He's got a hard front tyre on. How good's that going to work early on in this race? Is it going to be better? Has done a great start there. Rins to get himself up into 4th place. And he's going to... Here we go then, end of lap 1. 19 laps to go. 2.6 miles a lap. The two Suzuki's right in it. Look where Brad Binder is. Remember where he started? Originally he was back, well, way down on the 6th.
He's in 20th.
Unreal.
I've no idea what happened on the first lap, but he's at the back.
The kind of fight, he isn't really going to recover substantially from that.
I bet Binder can't believe...
Oh, Rins makes it up the inside of Miguel onto the corner. It must be a joy to ride.
Yeah.
Miller, Binder's going to get him. And hang on.
Yeah.
Hello, Brad. Yep. That's the goat you've just like when he goes through sandpits and the like, don't we? At Assen, for instance. Valentino knows how to take advantage quite well.
Making absolutely no friends in the MotoGP paddock.
Yeah, well, I doubt he'll forwards, didn't he? So Binder, 7th place for Binder. Now he's after Miguel Oliveira. Past Alex Marquez. There's Maverick Vinales, 2nd from last.
On that first lap.
Suzuki's looking good. I wondered about tyres. He probably isn't on the leash that he would normally be on for tyres now that the end of the race. Perhaps he hasn't now. So Jack Miller, 24 up there. He's going to go past Dobby. Not quite, but it looked like over the hill there. He got the horsepower.
He tried to he had a half a look about out-braking him, and he didn't make the apex.
Brakes, that's for sure. Dobby in 2nd place on the 0-4. 36 and 42 on another KTM.
Miller, 2 fastest laps on the roll.
That. 3 in his... It's his 88th Grand Prix. His only win.
Assen was in 16, was it?
2016.
Wow.
Job, isn't it? He's getting past left, right and centre. What's that all about?
What?
Where the bikes just flew over it. Yeah.
To see that again, that was bizarre.
Yeah, we need to see it from overhead. Jack Miller easing away from back to the end of the lap. We've got 16 laps to go in a minute, in a second. Are looking proper racy. Pol Espargaro's got a problem with 2 Suzukis coming his way. Then you've got Miguel Oliveira.
I think Vinales, it was his clutch slipping. Alex Lowe's, who's obviously watching at home, texted me saying clutch.
Well, 2 starts in quick succession.
Yeah.
Something else that...
Yeah.
Jack Miller easing away. Second leader
in the championship is going to score no points.
So Quartararo's down in 13th place, and for 3rd completely. Andrea Dovizioso could be leading the championship by the end of this if he works hard.
Yeah,
the argument. That's done and dusted. If you haven't seen it, hopefully goes. Yes, that came well, didn't it? So Pole goes back a place. Will he be able? Suzuki's still not the sharpest thing in a straight line. Wait till we get to the braking area.
Fine.
But you know Rins is going to be coming back. Those 2 Suzukis look very, very strong. Happened a moment ago. Moving uphill. Doesn't look that bad, does it, compared with the KTM there? Still in it, 13 for 4th.
Just looks like that kid. Zarco went round to shake his hand.
I want to see Aleix Espargaro together with Danilo Petrucci. Yeah, that's moved Pole out the way. Miller over the line. Whoa, Pole Espargaro's getting a bit raggedy now. He's got another Suzuki along now.
Yeah, if he does that again, he'll be getting a long lap penalty.
It will be, because you can't go out there. Pole, don't think it's the fastest thing, but he's going to be alongside into the braking. Moves down a little, I think, by Dovey here, and that's so typically Dovey, isn't it? 0.9 it is now, as point in that last sector.
Yeah, it's that yo-yo effect. That last sector, Dovey's just so...
It's absolute maximum and minimum.
Yeah, still 14 laps to go.
All package over the length of the race. Let's wait and see whether it pays off. He's right on the case of Dovizioso, whereas Pol Espargaro is scrapping away now for 4th place.
24 flat. He's a full second faster than the leader.
Yeah, he's touching it, but that's all it takes at this kind of level.
Look at him close.
Watch the way it turns.
Look at that. Look, watch the back pull away from him, though. That's the...
Well, I think that's the camera angle more than anything. I mean, that's Suzuki, the first tap in. In fact, you can look at the top speed sheets and see that in a race. Makes life a little easier if you've got 6 or 7 mile an hour and you can squeeze up the inside of Suzuki. Really was.
Watch Miller, though, on the brakes.
Yeah, just jams it under pole.
And then
Suzuki. Absolutely brilliant off the second row. He was straight. As soon as he got
wide, but
as soon as he got over the lumpy bit, he was straight on the throttle.
He's on the first lap for going wide at turn 1, so why wouldn't you?
Runs it a little wide there. Rins looking at Dovizioso again. Toffee on the brake. It turns in really well.
It's just at this point as they go through the gears.
Factory Ducati and the full works factory Ducati. Down to setup and gearing at the end of the day. And that's a frookie down on the knee of Rins. dearie me. Pit buyer, KTM's great hope for this weekend, their home Grand Prix.
And Miguel
Oliveira had their hands in the air. Well, the fairy tale has ended here. Goes past the Pramac bike of Miller. And Rins may have taken a bit, went a little squirrely earlier. Wow, that was a half a lap and a half.
Yeah, if I was Miller now, I'd be...
That's them, wasn't he, into there. As Rins closes in, Mir closes in. That's your top 4. 2 Suzuki, Pol Espargaro. Great hopes for KTM here. But the other KTM, hang on a minute, I've forgotten about him. Let's have a look. Pol Espargaro runs out wide. That's another one where Pol was out wide. Someone was on the racing line. Pol came back and Miguel had lost it by the time we got to it. I don't know whether the front was pushing under him. It looked a bit that way from the onboard. Suzuki looks after its tyres well. Rins is on for a race win. The only trouble is that the Ducati at the Suzuki.
Yeah, impressive.
It is impressive. On the brakes, it closes in on David.
There's a lot of expectation this season from him. Yet to see him sort of convert it into a decent result.
So, Dovi leads, but it's Alex Rins on the move.
No, dislocated the shoulder, tore tendons, fractured his humerus.
All the things. So there goes Pol Espargaro to bang his head on the KTM wall. 2 week. Not a happy day as it turns out. Rins has gone down. Rins is in. It's crashed out. Asked too much from the Suzuki. Davide Brivio. It was a great... Take a look. Oh dear me. Wait for that front end to skip out from under it. Rins has gone.
At least he's okay.
Yeah, well... relative.
Yeah.
So the 36.
On for a win.
That's another good point, of course. The 22, you're on the podium. His best finish has been 5th up to now for Joan Mir. Miguel Oliveira comes. Pol Espargaro's.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Welcome to MotoGP fans. It's all happening.
You got men wrecking TV monitors.
Tell you what, I can't even believe that with Oliveira. Meanwhile, whilst everything's going on, crazy. Brad Binder, who qualified.
He scored 3 points up until he got to Brno, where he scored 25 for a race win. Now he hasn't given up on a possibility yet, but you can't help but think that Andrea Dovizioso is doing when he unleashes whatever he's got left.
You've described it perfect, because what he's doing right now is going into control mode as well, physically, ready for the last 5 laps or last 3 laps.
Problem is with this race, I used to hate tracks like that. You got time to think about what you might get him for tea. Keep an eye, he's doing 25s now instead of the 24s we were seeing before. That's going to allow Binder, he's doing 25 times as well, yeah. Similar time, so he's not closing it down, looking at the monitor. That Suzuki's good with its tyres.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's in with a chance still.
Mia Wood loves.
And that's always good for your mentality. Didn't make it here, he was injured last year, so he didn't race. He's not done any mileage around here. You spoke about it early on in the commentary that Binder with the... So he comes to the race a bit short of track time. And Jack Miller's a fighter. If he's got a motorcycle under him at the end of this, he is going to push.
His potential teammate for next year, yeah, because he ain't going to be.
He ain't going to be there anymore. Rins comes back, isn't it?
Seems like a lifetime ago.
Almost forgot about this bloke as well. He's only 9th. 9th is a land of opportunity at the moment. There are opportunities here for doing just about anybody's to win the championship this year. He's turned in a 24/7 then compared with the 25
exactly.
So,
quarter of a second faster. But
yeah, he's sleeved for the final few laps either. He might have a bit more. We're on board with Brad Binder.
Boring, but you can't not bet on Dovey.
You can't not.
But
it's got a feel about...
There's a few things we know. Jack's going to give it a go, isn't he?
Yep.
He ain't going to settle for second. Mia's Suzuki, and this is definitely one of them. So Mia's going to give it a go. And that Suzuki is...
Mia that have not been in this position before. When 3 are close together like this, you could have a total wipeout.
I've just seen him drop down the order.
Yeah, he's dropped right to the back of the
20th.
Yeah.
It's one of them races, isn't it?
Nakagami, the best of the Honda, is he? In MotoGP. Thought it might have been on, but it isn't.
10th last time out.
Maverick Vinales really has been a massive disappointment.
I think it...
Look at that. The fairing of the Suzuki slides nicely on his backside. A bit of luge at the back next week. Mia on... Look at this. Dovey there by a long way. So this is the time then with 5 laps to go. Someone like Dovizioso, he just knocks off to the end now to prove Petrucci getting a bit squirrely. He's going to get caught by very, very unnecessary, if you ask me. He was at fault last time out. He completely mucked up Petrucci's qualifying lap.
It's looking like we're going to have, this is going to be the battle for second, because Dovey's just creeping
quicker than Miller on that last lap, which is so typical. I've got a feeling that Suzuki's going to be sneaking up the inside in the brakes in a minute. It's taking a more traditional line in. Meanwhile, Dovey's up and over the hill and down towards turn 2 and 3. Pretty much out on his own on the seamless gearboxes. The scene of where flying motorcycles were using him, Nakagami. He did a 25.1 compared with a 25.0 of Rossi, so Rossi seemed... Dovizioso's lead at the line was a 0.812. It's up to 0.8. Jack Miller here and Joan Mir in 3rd place. Well, the way he used the rear brake on a Moto3, far different from anyone else in Moto3 at the time.
Coming out of, I think it's turn 2 into turn 3, sort of throwing his body over the bike, like absolutely.
He had a MotoGP style on a smaller bike.
And he absolutely dominated the
rear brake as he used to pull the thing down. Do you remember Argentina, the final corners where John McPhee on the brakes? Still Binder. Binder with a fist now.
He might just run out of laps, Valentino. I'll tell you, Valentino will want it back.
Now this is a massive opportunity to grab massive points over your series leaders. Points. which will give him 56 points. Quartararo up to 8.
What a shame it will be. You know, we know Dovi's not right here, right? Because that is the only option. The only other option potentially you could say would be the Yamaha. If for a Vintier, he ain't going to ride for another Ducati, obviously. So there are no rides. I'm sure Valentino Rossi.
3-2 second lead at the line. It's been dropped back on. So Dobby just easing away as Dobby does. He's looking neat, tidy, a mistake. And I've got to say that's pretty rare.
Well, he's got a very old school riding style. It sits quite central on the bike. He's not dragging his elbow. How Johnny rides the Kawasaki.
Portimao, Johnny Ray at Portimao. The final round on the newly resurfaced Portimao track. It's going to be...
These two are very, very good friends.
Last lap time. They might be falling out by the end of this one. By 1.2 seconds, he's got this job done. 2.6 miles left for Dobby to do. The battle is
left-handers
closing him down. I reckon he might have a go at the inside of 9 and 10. Blast it to the line from there.
Yeah.
1.2 the lead over Andrea Dovizioso at the moment. Off up for a last gasp attempt at second place. Joan Mir.
And he's not near enough into this
place on that Suzuki.
Oh, Jack was late there.
And he knows he had to take this. Grand Prix of Austria. He's well out front, but he's closing now. We've seen this before. Miller's just on a protective line there, but that'll give the run to the Suzuki, which is what I thought he would do. It would happen. The Suzuki has done it. Will he win it? He finishes second. Andrea Dovizioso fish to the Ducati management. They want him to win, sort of, but well, it looks so good on the turn. I just thought 9 and 10.